All right. Hey, Hat Pack. It's Miji and Jack. We're back for another session of our live Q&A.
Hey,
For
how you
those
doing?
of you, for those of you who were here last week, we're excited to see you again. Welcome back. And if you're brand new to our session, you're in for a treat because we're going to talk over quite a few exciting things today. And what's on the agenda is we're going to kick it off with a few quick product updates for those of you who are currently in the system. One of our coolest features that we're going to talk about is our main topic is lead capture forms. So if you have any specific questions on forms or lead management, this is the time to ask us.
Yep.
And as usual, at the very end, we'll go through our trivia giveaway. So if you're paying attention and following along, you'll be able to answer and win a 17 Hats t-shirt. And for those of you who have been waiting for updates on Client Portal, you'll want to stay tuned until the very end because we're going to give you the latest on that. So quite an exciting agenda today. And, as you follow along, give us a heart if you like what you're hearing. If you have a question, type it down in the comments below. And don't forget to let us know your name, where you're from, what industry you're in, because we definitely want to get to know you.
Yep.
All right. So let's get started. Yeah, we've had a pretty busy month last July, just in terms of quick little updates here and there. Jack, I'll let you kind of kick it off on what some of those changes were.
I think one of the neatest things that's happened is that we now have the ability to trigger a workflow from a workflow. If you want to get that started, just go and add a new action item. And when you do that, you'll be able to choose start a workflow. And from that point on, you can use that.
Yep. And just like any other action step, if you want to approve it before it happens or have it set to automatically occur on a scheduled date, you have that option as well. And for those of you who use our bookkeeping feature, you now have the ability to search for a transaction by amount. So if there's a specific one you're looking for, and you knew it was $99 and you don't want to have to scroll through pages and pages of transactions, you can now type in the amount and it'll pull up the matching transactions for that criteria.
A lot of people were looking for that, so that's nice.
I know that our bookkeeper, Jeff Haynes, was very excited when that came out. So it's quite a big one. What else we got, Jack, on here?
Well, something neat is no more duplicate transactions when the same people fill out the lead capture form over and over again. In the past, we found that some people really like to communicate through the lead capture form, but what it was doing was it was going through and creating a new lead and project each time. So they can do that now, and based on the email address they're using, it'll go through and just add a new project so you can kind of keep track of what's going on.
Ah, that's nice. No more duplicates.
Right.
And then for the mobile app, we also just released a new version, 2.7, which allows for Touch ID login if you're on iPhone, and also just a handful of performance enhancements were released. So if you do use the mobile app, make sure that you update it, have the latest version. It should be a lot smoother and easier to use.
Yeah, something else that's new that's really kind of exciting is that before you could only look up contacts by their name or by their company name, but now you can look them up by telephone number.
Oh, nice.
So, that'll make it a little bit easier to use.
There's definitely been times where I get a call and I'm like, was that the lead that just came in? I know they filled out the form, but now I can know. Yeah.
Yep.
And some of you may have noticed that our account settings page got some love, a little bit of a makeover. We reorganized some of the sections, so it should be much easier to navigate. And we also added in shortcuts to your lead capture form and workflow templates so that everything's kind of in the same place. It should be very easy for you to get around.
Right. More organized. It's much easier to find stuff now.
Yep. Okay. And we have
this is
one
a big
more. One more.
Yeah, we have one big one. And basically, it's the ability to go to the product section and duplicate an existing thing. Now, you can already do this, for instance, with a template and things like that, but it's just so nice being able to do that. So suppose you have 10, 15 items that are very similar. They might be different prices, have a slightly different description to the product. You can go through and just copy them, make slight changes to them, save them, and everything is there. So it makes the whole process of adding your products much faster.
Yeah, we're big fans of automation here, so no more copy and pasting for that.
Yep.
Okay, and then for Client Portal, we'll talk about that at the very end, but we do have some very exciting updates to share there as well.
Very.
Yeah, Jack and I are excited. All right, well, so let's dive into the topic of today, lead management. This is such an important aspect of every business, and it's one of our favorite topics to talk about too, right, Jack?
I agree.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we're doing now, I mean, you're getting stuff in, but we can talk about a couple of the a couple of the really neat ideas that we've learned from other customers
Mhm.
on how to use it and different ways to use it, and make it so you're getting more business for yourself.
Yep. And when you go into 17 Hats and you think about lead management and new prospects coming in, the one feature that we use is our 17 Hats lead capture form. And so for those of you who are newer and you haven't heard the term, it's really a fancy name for a contact form, but it does much more than just gather information from you. And so there are a handful of reasons of why you'd want to use the 17 Hats lead capture form. One being, it is a contact form, right? You can install it online. You can send a link to it. It's a way for people to get in touch with you and for you to gather their information. But Jack, it does so much more than that.
It does. One of the neat things about it, and what a lot of people like about it, is when you use a lead contact form, it basically will go through and create a lead record, but it will also go and create a project at the same time. So that saves you a step. A lot of our users like it because when their customers fill it out, they don't have to manually add the customer to their database, and it's just a quick way of doing things.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and it's kind of interesting, they will use you can have as many lead capture forms as you want. You can put them in as many different places that you want. But what a lot of people will do is they will go and create one for just them to use. So suppose somebody calls you up on the phone. You can go through and get that form up, and you can fill it out while you're talking to them, and it'll allow you to go, and it serves as a script so you remember to ask the right questions, but it also is a quick way to get people into the system.
Right. And, on top of just starting a project, creating a new contact, we can also trigger actions to happen from a lead capture form, one of which is an automated email response. So if you're like me and you're always running around, I don't always have access to internet, I'm not always by my phone, it's really nice to have a templated response that is pulling in certain information that the lead capture form gathers for me in the form of tokens. So for example, if I'm asking someone for their name, project date, and I already have that in the form, I can have the email template pre-fill that information for me. So the email that's going out is personalized. It's going to say, hey, Jack, thank you for inquiring about your birthday party on August 14th. We're going to be giving you a phone call. We're really excited to get in touch with you. And then that way, as soon as the form is filled out, that message gets sent. And I didn't have to, pull up my phone, get to my computer, or, constantly check for notifications. It's really a good way just to get in touch with those prospects in the time that it matters the most, because we found that if you respond to a lead, and if you're the first vendor to do so, you've really increased your likelihood of converting that person by up to 50%.
Yeah. I mean, it's things like that. It's just that, if you're in the photography business and somebody sends you a lead and you don't respond within 15, 20 minutes, they're very likely going to go out and ask for other people at the same time. So you always want to be the first person to get back to them.
Yep, I agree. And, the odds of that lead entering the sales process and becoming more qualified actually increase by 20 more times if you are able to get back to them within the first 5 minutes, which you can definitely do with our lead capture form. And I know sometimes people, worry about, well, I don't want it to sound cold and I don't want it to sound templated, but with the tokens, you can populate that information in there and make it seem personal, make it seem warm.
Right. So it's just not dear friend or something like that. You'll be able to say, dear Miji, and be able to send it out, and everybody likes that.
Exactly. And I do see that we have a few new people who've joined us. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the Hat Pack.
Nice
don't forget to give us a heart or a thumbs up.
Yep.
Like what you're hearing. We're excited to have you here.
Indeed.
Okay. Moving on. Lead capture forms. Okay. So another great way to use the forms to automate things for you is with workflows. So let's suppose the first thing that you do every time you get in a lead is to send out a quote or an invoice. You can actually build that step into a workflow and have the lead capture form trigger that action for you. And there's two different ways to do it, Jack.
Yep. You can set it up originally in the configuration part of the lead capture form where no matter what they answer or what they do, this particular whatever workflow you choose will get triggered as soon as they submit the workflow. And that's okay for many things, but we also have something that I think is like one of the best things going, is that you can ask a list question. So a list question would be, what type of photography are you interested in? So it could be, you could have choices you could set up, and you could have weddings, you could have portraits, you could have family portraits, baby pictures. And what you can do is for each one of those things, based on what they choose, you can assign a different workflow. So as soon as somebody goes and chooses wedding workflow, as soon as they submit that form, it's going to go and start that workflow going. And it would be a different workflow if you were doing baby pictures, let's say.
Right. So if I have a different process, depending on the type of service or job, now I can specify that in my workflow, and it's going to automate that process for me where it just triggers the right workflow. Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of nice because I was talking to somebody last week and they came up with this idea. They asked me if we could do it, and I was thinking about it, but they go through and we're coming into senior sessions and things like that. So what they have done is set up a special lead capture form. And what that lead capture form does, somebody will go in, fill it out, pick the time that they want to have the pictures taken. But as soon as they go and submit that, it will trigger a workflow that goes through and sends them an invoice for what they're doing. And that's the simplest thing at that point. But suppose you also had 4 different types of sessions you were offering. You could have it start off a different workflow to send out a different invoice each time so that they would get the correct amount for what they're paying, what they've chosen.
Yep. You can really start to customize it. Yeah.
A very quick way to get money, the invoice out, and in turn get the money back in really fast.
Yeah. And Jack, I want to go back to a point that you brought up earlier, which is creating multiple lead capture forms, right? Because there's, you can definitely just have one form that you install on your website. You can put it on your Facebook, wherever people can run into you online, and that's totally fine. But I've had people ask me recently, well, I want to start tracking where those leads are coming in from. I want to know where to spend my marketing dollars, and I want to be able to, at the end of the year, just have an overview of, was it through social media that prospects are coming in from? Is it my website? Was it the convention that I went to? So the benefit of having multiple lead capture forms is, one, you can tailor them to be a little bit different in terms of the questions you're asking or workflows you're triggering, but you can also assign tags to the contacts that are coming in through that form. So for example, if I were to install my form on my website, let's say, I might use the tag website 2017, right? And then every single person that comes in through that form will have that tag assigned. And at the end of the year, or maybe just once a month, I search through my contacts for website 2017, and I can see exactly how many people came in through that source. And now I have a really good view of, what channels are working best for me. So.
Right. And the thing is that you can do it for so many different places. We normally just tell people you can go and, let's say, you can put a lead capture form on your Facebook page. You can put it on your website. But I've heard from people of them going different, like wedding photographers and things like that. They, let's say if they have a particular venue that they shoot at a lot of the time. We have had people go and talk to the management of that venue, and I'm not sure what they're paying or whatever, but they go and give them the code from the lead capture form, and they can go and have it put in. So people will be going to that venue. They're looking around maybe for a wedding and need a photographer. Click this button, and it will generate the lead capture form will come up, and that'll come right into your account in 17
Very
minutes.
easy. I like it. I like it.
Well, just think of all the places that you could put a form like that. I mean, maybe there's a local newspaper that has an online version. You buy an ad and maybe put that little link in there, and quick way to get people in touch with you.
Or even at the end of a marketing email, I've seen people, blast out campaigns and things like that. Include a link to your lead capture form. And, you can just say, if you're interested, click on the link, fill out the form, and, we'll go through next steps with you. Jack, our friend Lorenzo Hill is here.
Hello, Lorenzo. How are you?
Love you. Yeah. Welcome back. Lorenzo was here last week.
Yep.
You've been with us through our webinars. You've spoken with us at Shutterfest. You're a popular name.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us again. Yeah.
Thank you. So that's nice. Now, Miji, what do you think about a lead capture form being like 300 questions?
If it were me and I'm interested in someone's services and then I have to fill out 300 questions to just get in touch with them, I probably wouldn't want to fill it out.
I wouldn't either, I don't think.
And I have seen forms like that where, I see the point in having all the detailed questions that you need maybe to provide someone with, let's say, with a quote. But because this is the first time that someone is getting in contact with you, you really want to increase your chances of having that form filled out.
Right. So I think, from what I've seen of a lot of people, if you keep the number of questions in your lead capture form to maybe 10 or under, that'll gather all the basic information you need. And if you know exactly what they want to do later on, you can then send out a questionnaire with the 300 questions. and get all the detailed information.
Exactly.
So the trick is you don't want to scare them away from filling the thing out. And I know that I would not, if I look at saw 25 questions, I probably wouldn't fill it out.
Right.
So just a little trick there. Just keep it short, to the point, get the basic information, and then go after them later.
Yeah, want to make it easy for your customers. And we've talked a lot about the term lead. And I want to touch upon that really quickly in terms of what it means inside of 17 Hats and what some of the different contact types we have. Mm-hmm. So anyone who fills out the lead capture form, when they come in, they're going to be a hot lead, right? Because they fill out the form, they're prospect, they're most likely interested in your services. But anytime they've either accepted a quote, signed a contract, or paid an invoice, 17 Hats will actually automatically change their contact status over from a hot lead to a client.
Right.
So that you don't have to remember to do that. And we help you stay organized when it comes to that.
Yep. So there's a lot of different things you can do with the leads. And in general, I have actually seen people that go through, and maybe that particular lead that came in as a hot lead, maybe they talk back and forth and they figure out that, well, maybe we're not going to do business right now.
Yeah.
You think we should just delete that person?
That's a hard-earned lead. I would never delete I don't want to delete anything out of 17 Hats, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you recommend we do in that case, Jack?
I think that I would just go and edit them and change them into a cold prospect. Mm-hmm. You know, make sure we have tags to know where they originally came from, this type of thing in the record. And then later on, as we're going through, we may want to generate some business and see if maybe they're interested again. And
now, can I export my contact list, from 17 Hats and easily put it into something like MailChimp? If I'm changing them to cold prospects and I'm tagging them, can I find those people later on and really easily get them into, like an email campaign? Yeah. I mean, I think the big thing right now is that when you tag somebody, that will always be with their contact record or lead record, depending on what they are. Mm-hmm. And you can go through and go to contacts and export contacts, and it will go and generate a CSV file, which can be imported right into something like MailChimp. Yep. The nice thing about that, too, is if you have tags in place, you can go and just search for the people that meet that criteria for the tag, and then go and export it, and you'll just have that group of people. It won't be anything extra at that point. Pretty easy to do. And Jack, we have a question from Damian Williams. Damian says, how do I incorporate it into my website? Great question. In fact, let me share my screen with you guys. Damian, I'll actually walk you through. Nice. Second, let me sign into my 17 Hats account. Okay. Just really easily. And Jack, let me know if you can see my screen okay. I can. Perfect. So Damian, this is your dashboard. And what you're going to want to do is click on the Leads tab here on the left-hand Features menu and click on the Lead Capture Forms button here. That will take you to all the different forms that you have. If you have multiples, they'll be listed on the left-hand side. You just want to make sure you click on the correct one. So for example, if my website lead capture form is the one that I want to install, I would just click on that name. And then up here on this green section here where it says Install Form, you're going to click on that, and you can see you have 4 different options. Clicking on Facebook will allow you to install it on your Facebook. Linking it to a dialog window just means that when you install it, the client clicks on it, there's a pop-up window that comes up with the form. And it sounds like what you want is to embed it on your website, which would be the third option here, Insert Form on Website. So I'm going to click on that. And this actually brings up the HTML that you just need to copy and paste into your website editor. All right. Yeah, so pretty easy. Well, pretty easy. Now that fourth choice there. Let's go back. Let's go back. Link to 17 Hats form. Basically, it's just a direct link to that form. And what's nice about that is that you could, if you wanted to, and you were doing a big email campaign to people that weren't in the system already, you could go and copy that link, put it into the email, and send it out. And then everybody that fills it out will actually go through and it'll create a new lead and a new project form right away. Easy way to get a lot of people into the system and start managing them. Yep. And something very important to remember. You're going to talk about the URL. I am. Yes. If you take a look at the URL up top of that lead capture form, that is the only form or URL in 17 Hats that is not specifically aimed towards one person. So you could copy that, you could give that to 1,000 people, and each person that does it will fill out, create a new lead and a new project for them. You would never want to do something like this with a contract form or a invoice. Well, it might be okay, Miji, if somebody sent
you my invoice and you
And they
paid
paid it.
Right. But I think things will get really confused soon after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So the lead capture form, you can put that any place. Anybody can fill it out. It's going to create a new lead and a new project. But you don't want to do that with stuff that's set up in particular for a particular customer lead or user.
Exactly. And, by going through to the URL for the lead capture form here, this is pretty much exactly what your clients are going to see. It's going to open up a new window. The logo that you've uploaded to your profile under account settings will populate at the top. And then, of course, you have your list of questions down here. The submit button can be customized to match the color of your branding or your logo. You can tweak that.
Very nice.
And, once the form is filled out, you can either have a little message display on the screen if you'd like. We talked about, triggering an automatic email response to go out, which is great if you don't have time to get back to your leads immediately yourself. And there's a couple of other things that can happen too. If you prefer to get notifications, let's say, right? You can either have an email sent to you that says you have a new lead, or a text message texted to your mobile number that's listed under your account settings saying you have a new lead, or you can do both. And I always do both because I never know which one I'm going to see first. So it's nice to have both options. And Jack, why don't I just fill this form out right now for you and see if you get the alert on your phone. We can show everyone what it looks like.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll fill it in as Travis, who's also here in the comments below. 888-999-1234. Travis rocks at 17hats.com. And Travis, your event's coming up, I think, maybe on Valentine's Day. Let's do that. And let's say he selected package B, and Travis says, hello there. I'm excited to work with you. Oh, okay. And Travis is going to go ahead and hit submit. And I have my lead capture form set so that a little thank you message pops up on the screen. Oh, what was that?
Did you hear that?
I did hear that loud and clear.
Let me go.
Ah.
It's my text. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see how close we can get.
Almost. Yep, there it is.
Okay, I get notification. I get the telephone number. I get all the information about the person they just filled out. And it's there, and I can call them right now.
That was pretty quick and easy. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Great question, Damien. Yep. Okay.
Now, if you guys are enjoying this, I think you should click on that like button because that would be a nice thing for you to do. We'd appreciate it.
Or a heart. But you did remind me of something, Jack. So we were talking about notifications, and I remember last week someone asked me, how do I get those notifications to show up on my phone where an invoice is paid, a contract is signed, a questionnaire is filled out? Because I really want to be notified as soon as those documents are completed. Yep.
Well, I think basically what you do is go and install the 17 Hats mobile app on your phone. You can have it for Android or you can do it for iOS. And then you go through and turn all the notifications on. Can we see that? Yep. You've got them all on right there.
Yep.
So when somebody goes and pays an invoice or signs a contract or approves a quote, you'll get a little message there.
Little push notification. Yeah.
Yep. Very handy.
Love it. And there was a lady last time, Desiree Rose, who showed us a screenshot of her iPhone, and it was filled with you have an invoice pay notifications. It's probably one of the best things I've ever seen. There must have been dozens. And she uses 17 Hats. She processed about 280 invoices or so in 3 days.
Yep.
In 3 days, which is pretty amazing.
And there was a good amount of money coming in all at the same time. It was she was very happy to hear that sound, as were we.
Ding, ding, ding all day long. Yep. I mean, can you imagine not having a system and having to do something like that? She actually had her workflows, I think, trigger the invoices automatically, so there wasn't a ton of emailing back and forth or having to send PDFs or anything or get on the phone and follow up with those documents. So that was amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Very nice. My wife uses 17 Hats, but she doesn't. It's interesting. She doesn't use it for everything. She just decided that she is happy at the point she's at, and she uses just certain features. She manages all her contacts and leads through there, and she sends out invoices, and she sends out contracts. And a lot more you can do. You often see people thinking that they should be setting up their 17 Hats account, and everything should be set up at the same time, and you can't start using it until everything is set up. Oh. And that's not really the case.
Yeah. That's the great thing about 17 Hats is you can use it while you're still continuing, to tap into other features. Like Jack said, if you just want to use the lead capture form first, great. Look at workflows next, or if you want to work on workflows, build out your templates and get the building blocks ready and put it in there. But you don't have to have bookkeeping up and ready to go,
Right.
life cycles and everything. It's great when you have all the pieces moving together, but it's not having them all ready to go. It's not going to stop you from being able to simplify your business, get organized, and get paid faster.
And for a lot of people, it just makes so much more sense. They're not feeling the pressure that they have to get everything set up right away to start using it. I mean, you can get in there and you can start sending out invoices, in within a half hour.
Yeah, pretty easily. Yeah. And that's the beauty of having templates too, is a lot of the times when you go in, you create an invoice or you add in your products, you really only have to do it once. If it's something that you tend to use repeatedly, having the templates pre-saved allows you to reuse them again and again in the future. And just like the name implies, it's a template, right? So in the future, if you want to use it and just make a small edit or a small change, you still can, and it's not going to affect the master copies you have saved in your library. So you're really saving yourself a lot of time not having to do the same work twice.
Right. And along the same lines, if you want to send out a custom invoice that, if you've got your products in there, it's just a question of sitting down, pulling the product in, making sure the price is okay, and just sending it out.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice because it gives you the best of both worlds, where you can be set up to send out customized invoices to people. And a lot of people at the same time, or you can go through and edit those and create new ones and just get it going. The nice thing is that there's no limit to the number of templates you can create.
None at all. So you can have at it. I actually had a lady ask me, since we're on the subject of invoices earlier today, well, can I process a payment in person, or does it always have to be sent over to the client? They have to put in the credit card on their end. What if I'm doing in-person sales? Great question. With 17 Hats, you can absolutely process the payment in person. And really the only difference would be, you create the invoice instead of having to send it to your client, wait for them to do it. You can preview the document, which brings up the actual invoice itself, and you can just click on the pay invoice button as if you were the client. And should they be standing there with a credit card, you can just type it in for them or have them type it in. But you certainly don't have to wait. It can be done in person, and it's very, very easy to do so. Yeah.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Priscilla says, thank you for all that you do, 17 Hats team. Thank you. We have a shout out from Naomi. Lead capture form is awesome. I'm guessing that's what the thumbs up means.
Yep.
My site auto starts workflow, auto sends correct pricing. Super. Oh, she's a power user.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it's so nice just being able to automate so much of this stuff, and then you can concentrate on what you do best, and that's doing your job for your customers.
Focus on growing your business. And guess what, you guys, your customers love 17 Hats. I hear time and time again from people when we go to trade shows, when we get on the phone with someone, they go, well, I use 17 Hats because my customers love it. They like filling out the lead capture form. They love going through the process and the workflow because it's consistent, it's professional, and booking is so easy. Getting the quote, then the contract, then the invoice all in one mailing. It takes a few minutes to get all of those documents out of the way. Payment is processed, it's clean, and you really can't beat that, especially if it's being automated.
Yep. Amy was asking if we integrate with QuickBooks, and we do.
QuickBooks Online,
Yep. You can't integrate with your desktop system, but you can make an export file and use it in there. But yes, we do.
Yeah, I'll show you really quickly in your account. If we go down to account settings and integration, you'll see a little section for QuickBooks, and you just click on the button here to connect to your account.
Yep.
Good question, though, Amy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what else we got to talk about here? Are we getting ready for our?
Oh my gosh, time is flying by. Shall we ask our trivia question?
Well, we could do that. Should we do that before or after we talk about Client Portal?
Let's do it before Client Portal because we can get through the trivia pretty quickly.
Okay.
And then we can spend a little bit more time on Client Portal. So our trivia question of the day, we did talk about this earlier, is what are the 2 different ways that a lead capture form can trigger a workflow for you? So whoever can answer correctly first and name both ways will get a 17 Hats t-shirt.
Bum, 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 bum. We're waiting. Let's see.
And if you don't know, just take a stab at it and guess.
Yep.
Yep. Let us know. I'm sure there's someone out there who is listening who has used it before. Naomi, it might be you.
Right. We'll just see how fast people can type.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. So we're going to talk about Client Portal in a few minutes.
We are. Yep.
So exciting. So many people have been waiting for this.
Oh my gosh, it's one of our most highly requested features. We're so excited about it. It looks beautiful. I got a tiny little sneak peek of it earlier last week. And we do want to share the latest with you guys, just in terms of if you're new to the term Client Portal, what it is, what some of the functionalities are going to be, and of course an ETA on when it's going to launch so that you guys can get ready for it. Lorenzo says, first answer, Facebook and website. Those are definitely places where you can install your lead capture form. Yeah.
But how, I think more what we're asking for is how can you, where do you set or to get a workflow going in your lead capture form?
Naomi says, completely missed it because I was talking to Miss Two. No problem.
Okay. Anybody else?
Naomi, I feel like you know this.
I know she knows it.
I feel like you're holding back. Yeah.
Well,
we can tell you one of the ways, and maybe some of you guys can tell us the other way.
okay.
With that, Jack, I'll let you tackle this one.
All right. Well, the first way is that you can set it up in the administration or the setup section of your lead capture form, and that way, the same workflow would be executed as soon as somebody goes and submits the lead capture form.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the second way?
I'll give you a hint. It's also in your lead capture form settings as well, just a different place. So think back to when we talked about if you have different services wanting to trigger different processes, because it has something to do with that. Everyone watching should get a shirt. I agree. We should do that sometime where everyone who comes to the show gets a little goodie bag or a piece of swag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we probably won't do that today.
Josh Payne says manual. So manual is correct, where you can definitely always go in after the fact and trigger a workflow. And I guess we should have been more clear on being automatic, an automatic way to trigger the workflow. And Monica says install form, also a good way to find the different options of where you can install the lead capture form. But we're looking for the last way to trigger a workflow automatically from the lead capture form. And Josh says, start a workflow from project. Great way to do it manually.
Yep. Should we tell them?
Let's tell them.
Okay.
Second way.
The first way was to go into the setup of your lead capture form, and that workflow that you put in there would always go and be run as soon as that form is submitted. So no matter what was else in there, it would always do the same workflow. If you go through and use a list question, do we have one of those handy? Let's see.
Let me open up the first way that Jack was talking about right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And basically it's telling us we can't do it because we have it installed in the second part, and you can only do it one way at a time. But if you go and add a list question, so that's where you go, what package are you interested? Package A, package B, package C, package D. With each one of those, you can go and start a different workflow depending on what they choose in the question.
There we go.
So that may, depending on what you're doing with your business, that gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, you're not limited to 4 answers or 5. You can also have as many as you want in there.
As many as you want, right? And, sometimes you may have the same workflow for 3 of the services, and it's just that 4th one that goes through a different process.
Right.
However you want to set things up, there's a lot of flexibility for you to customize it.
Yep.
I think what we should do in this case is for everyone who answered, I'm going to send you a t-shirt.
Okay.
You participated and you tried, and those were all good answers.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if you guys stay here after the show, I'm going to message you separately through Facebook and just make sure I get your t-shirt size and address. But thank you all for guessing.
Perfect.
Good job. All right. Well, I think this is the long-awaited section where we're going to dive into Client Portal.
Yep.
So let's talk about that really quickly. It's obviously a highly requested feature. And the reason why we brought it out was because we heard a lot of comments from people saying, there's times where clients come back to me and they're requesting invoices and contracts, quotes and questionnaires from a year ago. And, we've sent so many documents back and forth. I really don't like having to go back, dig them up, resend them. I mean,
Right.
things get lost in the sea of email traffic, all the back and forth and everything. Really needing a solution for just one centralized place for all of the documents to be not only saved under, but to allow your clients to log in and be able to complete things, at their convenience.
Yep. And be able to see whatever you want. So how does this work, Miji? I mean,
Well,
what do you do?
it's pretty easy. So Client Portal is going to be turned on and off at your preference per contact. So
Yep.
let's say Jack is a client of mine. I've got 3 open projects in there for him. I go on to turn on Client Portal. I can actually select which projects I'd like to include in the portal, either all of them or just specific ones, right, that maybe are the most relevant. So you can kind of check off those settings. And then what Jack's going to see when he logs in basically are all of the documents pertaining to those projects. So invoices, quotes, contracts, questionnaires. Not only can he view them, but he can actually go in for anything that's open and outstanding. He can process a payment, sign a contract, complete a questionnaire, or maybe just save his answers, come back to it later, or accept quotes, start booking himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's so nice about that is that people have one place. If you turn this on for somebody, they can go for one place and they can see everything that's been paid, things that haven't been paid. They can see all contracts they've signed. And again, as Miji had mentioned, you can turn it on if they have 10 different projects. You can turn it on for as many or as few of those projects as you want.
Yeah, very nice. So you do have control over that, and with your clients as well, who are always asking for updates on their event details, or maybe they need to change their contact information. That's a lot of back and forth that's happening right now. Client Portal actually allows the customer to go and update their own contact information if it's changing, if there's a number, or if they moved, and they can actually preview the upcoming event details as well. They can't change it, but they can definitely look at it and see the location, the date, timing, and everything.
Nice.
So, just think of all the emails that you're not going to have to send back and forth, or having to get on the phone and then go back into 17 Hats and complete those actions.
Yeah, well, also think about how neat it is for your customers to be able to do that. They don't have to call you up each time. They have a URL to go to.
Yeah.
You can put in a PIN number for them, so that a little security there, and they can go in and look when they want to look.
Exactly. Makes it easier on their end as well.
3 a.m. in the morning, they don't have to call you.
That's very nice. I hate those 3 a.m. calls.
I know. Did I pay my contract?
Yes. Okay. Let me get on there. I'll send it to you. Yeah. And then for those of you who are using multi-user, admin members will always be able to see the client area. But for team members, if you want to permit them to have access to the client area, you just have to give them permission to quotes, contracts, and invoices. So all 3 of those documents, and they'll be able to access those configurations. If they don't have access to all 3, they won't see the client area.
Now, Ann just asked us a question: do they need portal access to store their payment method? We don't store anybody's credit card information in 17 Hats. It was thought when we were going through this, so many things are going on these days, we just do not store it.
Yeah.
They would have to put it in each time. So.
But they can now do so very easily through the portal. Just find the invoice, click pay, and it works just like it does now on our documents. They type in the credit card, they hit pay, and they're done.
Right, and it works with whatever method you have selected and use for your payments, and they'll just connect right into there and look the same as though they'd been clicking on an email link.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And boy, I really think this is going to be a great feature, especially for those of you who are sending a large amount of documents, let's say recurring invoices for a client, or if you have a corporate client that is requiring a lot of back and forth. I mean, now you have one place that's storing all of it. And if you have a disorganized client or a forgetful client, you can always tell them to refer back to your portal. They can filter documents, by project. It makes it really easy for them to stay on top of everything, and it kind of takes the burden off of you to have to, remind them each and every time.
And tell me, Miji, can you can our users customize what that form looks like?
The client portal?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, in quite a few different ways. So when you log into the portal, you can customize the header image that's displayed at the top. So if you're a photographer, let's say you might want to use the image for their album, a picture from a gallery, and just have that at the top, which is really nice when they log in. That's the first thing they'll see. And you can even add in a customized welcome message right beneath that header with something personal to the client. You can leave instructions in there for them, your contact information.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
you can make it match your branding, make it look special.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So that's cool. By the way, I was going to mention again that if you like what we're doing here, would you please just give us one of those little hearts? We'd appreciate it.
We love those.
Yeah, we do. Now, we just had a question from somebody who says they are a total newbie, and they
welcome.
And they want to know where to get started first. And they're asking if is it fill in my calendar first. I think everything in 17 Hats is based off your contacts and your projects. So what I think you need to do is just maybe go in to get started so you can really play around, is put in a few contacts with projects, or just fill out a lead capture form or create a lead capture form and start doing it that way, and just have something to work with and go through and test things that you want to use.
Yeah, I agree. I always like to start off with the account settings section.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve you having to create anything. You're just filling in your business information. And it is very, very useful because it allows you to make sure that your account is going to run smoothly. So you're not just filling in your name, your phone number, your address. It's actually populating into your client-facing documents later on. Like your logo is going to appear on your invoices and contracts, all that good stuff.
Right.
Your address, your business name, that's also going to show up. The number that you put in allows you to get mobile notifications. You can set your currency, your invoice options, obviously connect your payment provider if you want to start taking online payments. So that account setting section is really important. It's kind of all the building blocks that you're going to need to later on build a workflow, to later on, build an invoice, let's say, from the products that you've entered in. So that's my favorite section because it takes no thinking. I'm just filling it out. And now I have all the tools later on to piece everything together as a part of the bigger features.
Nice. Oh, and Kimberly just joined us. Welcome.
Hey, welcome, Kimberly. And we have a nice message from Andrew. Says, great info, thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Come back next week.
Yep.
Be a regular.
What are we talking about next week?
What are we going to talk about? Well, whatever you guys want, really.
Right.
We do have something set on the schedule right now, which, Jack, maybe you can check. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think we're going to talk about workflows next week.
Workflows, automation. That's a good one. But just like this session, if you guys have specific things that you really want to talk about, come with your questions, or even let us know down in the comments below. It'd be really great if we could talk about X, and we'll make it happen.
Yep. Now we have a question from Priscilla, and she wants to know how team members can be added to the client portal.
Very easily. So the team member just needs to have access to quotes, contracts, and invoices, all 3 items checked off in their permissions, and they'll have access to client portals.
Yep. Okay.
You guys are running a little bit out of time, but if you guys have additional questions, do remember that we have a Messenger live chat feature in the lower right-hand corner of your account where you can always start a conversation with our business support team. Or you can click on that little question mark icon in the top right-hand corner to get into our knowledge base articles, tutorial videos, if you're more of a self-help person like me, or just, start a conversation with us, and we'd be happy to help.
Now, also, I think after this, once we get this transcribed and put down, we are also going to send out the link to the session. So if you want to watch it again, you can also do that. If you want to send it to your friends, I think that's a good idea too.
Yeah, share with everyone you know. It'll be on our Facebook page.
Yep.
The easy access. And thank you, Naomi. We had a good time. Thanks for coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys.
Should we ask for final questions at this point?
Any last questions? We still have a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Could be about anything. Could be about us, if you want to get to know us. Jack, what is one fun fact about you that I don't know?
Well, I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot. I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking out the window at my boat sitting on Silver Lake.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's interesting. A lot of people at 17 Hats work in the main office, but then there are a lot of us that are kind of distributed all over the country. Yeah. It's kind of nice. We can cover different time zones that way. And for customer support, that just really works out well.
Awesome. And I'm here in Pasadena at our headquarters. You can see some of the team members in the background working very hard. There's Taylor, Betty, Tina.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Yoon and Jeff.
Nice. Everybody's around.
Popping
Good.
up. Popping up. We've got a good crew here. We hold it down.
Now, Miji, aren't you going to tell me something I don't know about you?
Okay. Oh, gosh. Let me think. Think. I am an only child. Did you know that? But I'm very kind and I share. But I'm an only child. And I was born and raised in China, actually. I came here when I was 8. New fact? Fun fact?
Nice.
And
somebody told me about how you learned to speak English.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So my favorite movie when I was really little and I was growing up in China was The Lion King. So I went to the theaters, I watched it, it was in Mandarin. And when I moved over here to the States, obviously I had to learn English because I didn't know anything but the alphabet. And my mom bought me the Lion King DVD. And she said, watch this and you'll be fine.
Nice.
And that's how I learned English, most of it. And, because I knew all the words from the Chinese version, I could kind of sort of put together the ones from the English version. And so to this day, I still know every single line from that movie. And it's one of my favorite flicks of all time.
Very nice. We did have another question from Irene, and she wants to know where account settings are located.
Oh, let me go back to my screen share.
Yeah.
One moment. Great question, because this item is really important. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
It okay? Okay. Let me go back to my home page because that's the first thing you'll see when you log in. There's actually 2 ways to get into account settings. There's the traditional way of clicking on your logo, which gives you the account settings option. Or if you want to click on the templates icon, it kind of takes you directly into your account settings. I mean, it drops you in the template section, but really you're in the account settings to begin with.
So you can get to anything really fast from there.
Exactly. And then your main preferences are here at the top. We just made that recent update where we group things together so that as you move down, you're kind of going from most important, in that order. And then profile is where you can set your mobile number for text notifications. Business name is going to show up on your documents. Logo, it's going to show up in your documents. You can link accounts. If you're on our unlimited plan and you have multiple businesses or you want to use different currencies, you can set up as many accounts as you want, link them all together.
All right.
Very, very helpful. And Jack, Monica just said, I changed the color on my lead form submit button. Fun. Thanks for the idea.
Nice.
Yeah, we want everything to match. It looks good.
Yeah, if you're going to put it on your website, it should have the same colors and look like it was made for it, which it was.
Yep. And different forms can have different colors. You can have different button colors. Yeah.
Yeah. Always nice.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we're just at about time.
Anybody else have anything before we?
Anyone else have any questions?
Disappear.
Ideas for next week?
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Somebody's typing something.
And says, how do I decide where to start? I've added contacts and created invoices already. Good question. So you can always start off with the basics and build your way up. But I would also just ask, what's your biggest business pain point? Like the main reason why you signed up for 17 Hats.
Right.
And you've added in invoices. So maybe it's getting paid or getting paid faster, or taking online payments. Some people just want to come over from pen and paper and be able to process it in there. So if that's the case, figure out which feature it would be. In this case, it'd be invoices. And as long as you have your products entered in, tax settings, your currency, choose whether or not you want to turn on invoice reminders. So for people who either send out recurring invoices or if you take payment plans, installments of 4, 5, whatever it is, you're probably going to want to consider turning on invoice reminders so that an automatic email gets sent out a day before the payment is due and once a month for outstanding payments. So you don't have to follow up with your clients because we all hate doing that. Just trying
never fun to do that.
Exactly.
I think Lorenzo is asking where the self-help videos are, and that's pretty easy. If you go up and click on that at the very top of the screen on the right.
Right here.
Yep. You can click on that help. The question mark that's there, and that's going to take you into here and our help section. And then from there, you can click on video tutorials.
Yep.
We have a good number of those going, and they are always being changed and updated. So that's something to keep in mind.
Great tool to use.
Over and over again, yeah.
Yep. And if you're brand new, click on that first link that says 17 Hats Group Workshop. It's actually a high-level overview and a demo by Betty.
Yeah.
Who's here? Betty, where are you? There she is.
Hi, Betty.
Led by Betty, and it's a recording. So you can actually, I would recommend watch that because it goes through all of our most important features. We do talk about little tips here and there, but it helps you get familiar with everything, and it'll help you, kind of know where to get started.
Yep. Good.
And then if you guys go back, you can see that other than the video tutorials, we've got new to 17 Hats Start Here section that kind of guides you through the essentials, the dashboard, sending your first invoice, putting a template in, kind of all the basics. Or if you need a refresher, just go back there.
Nice.
You can do this in bed when it's quiet and the kids are asleep. Really, really easy to just kind of read through those or watch a video.
Yep. I just get a good idea what's going on. We have them on so many different topics. So it's
lots. Yeah.
Yep. So you can also just go to help.17hats.com and get directly to that page.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Okay, guys. I think it's time to wrap up.
Right. And remember, you can always get to that help section. You can always click on top, and you can, during our day hours, you can go and chat with somebody. You can send an email to us anytime at support@17hats.com, and people get back to you as soon as we can. We're here to help, and we're here to make it easy for you so that you can really get your business going and start making some money.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to reach out to those of you who answer the trivia question, get that t-shirt out to you.
All right. So they should stay on after this.
Yeah. Just be on Facebook because I'll message you. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.